Hello dear ones, Father Peter John here, coming to you from All Saints Orthodox Church in Bloomington, Indiana. Christ is in our midst. I want to talk today about a couple of men who encountered one another in the desert. This is a story of the Desert Fathers. One man was a priest, a heretic actually, and he was traveling through the desert, but he miscalculated how long it would take him to get through the desert on his journey, and so night fell upon him. Now, nighttime in the desert is not a happy thing. You know, I live out here on the edge of town. Our church is on the edge of town. Lots and lots of trees all over the place. And when the sun goes down out here on the edge of town, you hear the coyotes and the wildlife going. And you're thankful that you have a home where you can go in and shut the doors. Well, if you can imagine, you're in the desert in Egypt and the sun goes down. Boy, you got a lot more than coyotes to worry about out there. They have scorpions, there are lions, and all sorts of things in the desert. And this man knew it. He knew he was in a dangerous spot, this heretical priest. He thought about his options, and he saw that there was the cell of a hermit. And he knew that this hermit was an Orthodox Christian. And he thought about what was going to happen to him should he go and knock on the door of this cell. He knew in his heart that probably he would be rejected by him and sent out back into the desert to perish anyway. So he weighed his options and thought, do I really want to put myself through that? Well, ultimately he was so frightened being in the desert at nighttime that he took his chances, and he went up and he knocked on the door of the old hermit. The hermit opened the door and welcomed him, even though the hermit knew that this man was a heretical priest. And so the hermit brought him in, and he gave him food, and he gave him water, and he provided a nice comfortable bed for him, and they prayed together. And this heretical priest, we're told in the story, he's lying in bed, in this comfortable bed, with his stomach filled, having said prayers with this Orthodox hermit, and he's lying in bed thinking to himself, certainly this man knows by the way that I'm dressed that I'm a heretical priest, that I don't agree with his doctrines and practices, so why did he welcome me? That kept him awake for a while, but finally he drifted off to sleep. In the morning when he woke up, he was so moved and so thankful for the hospitality that this man had given him that he fell down at the old hermit's feet and he said, from now on I am an Orthodox Christian. And he said, furthermore, I will not depart from you for all of my days. And so this heretical priest converted to Orthodoxy and lived out the rest of his life in a monastic relationship with this old hermit in the desert. A glorious story of the way that hospitality can change people's hearts. I encourage each of us to remember that, to remember our calling to kindness, to brotherly love, our calling to hospitality. Our job is not to shame people. You heretic. Our job is not to have a scripture shootout, bang, bang. Our job is to love people, to show them Christ's love, and then that love, the love of God working in and through us, has an effect on people. Try it sometime if you haven't, and see what happens when you practice a radical Christian love and the way that it affects people who are receiving that love. Christ is in our midst. He is and ever shall be.